Hello, everyone, and thank you for watching. My name is Grant, your BSW membership intern, and today I'm with Catie, who is our 2021 MSW recipient of the Leadership and Diversity Scholarship. Thanks for joining me today, Catie.
Thank you so much, Grant. Happy to be here.
I'm happy to be with you. First, would you like to go ahead and kind of introduce yourself to the viewers?
Yeah, absolutely. So my name is Catie Bargerstock, as Grant said. My pronouns are she, her, hers, and I am currently pursuing my master's in social work at the University of Michigan. My pathway under this program is called Community Change. And under that pathway, I'm a part of a specific scholarship program called the Community-Based Initiative in Detroit. And that means that my field work and some focuses of my core classes will be based in Detroit and on Detroit history and context, specifically in that city.
Wow, that sounds very cool. I guess our first question starting off, what made you choose to pursue a degree in social work, especially a master's in social work?
Yeah, so I graduated from my undergrad degree in 2015, so it's been a little while since I've been in school. And in that time, I've spent working in various nonprofit positions in the nonprofit sector. And what I found is that when I was looking to apply for new jobs and try new things, a lot of those jobs required a master's in social work. So it's something that's been on my mind and been on my heart for a while. And I decided that if I really just want to step up to the next level in this field, I need to go back to school and get more education, more knowledge, and more skills that are specific to the social work field.
Very cool. And you were talking about some of that work that you were doing and interests that made you kind of come back to school. But what are those social work interests that you find yourself most passionate about?
Yeah, I'm really interested in the macro level of social work. So just like the big systemic ideas, big picture changes, less on the individual level. And my work specifically, I'm very interested in working in Detroit, which is why I chose the Michigan program that I'm a part of. Specifically, I'm not sure quite yet, which is another reason I'm back in school, hoping to get more experience and kind of nail down more of a specific passion. But previously, I've worked with Detroit public high school students and service learning initiatives. And I also currently work with survivors of sex trafficking in the city of Detroit. So a wide variety of interest.
Hey, and that wide variety is very good, especially going into that macro focus, I'm sure.
I think so.
Yeah. So as you've been going through your social work program, your MSW program, and all that curriculum, what has been some of your main takeaways from maybe professors and content specifically in class?
That's a good question. I think a lot of the big ideas that I'm learning about are things that I already had a little familiarity with through my personal life and through my professional endeavors. But what I really appreciate about the program is I'm getting sort of the research and the data to back up feelings I already had. So, we're learning a lot right now in one of my classes about racial wealth gaps. And this is something that I'm aware of, but now I'm getting the stats to back that up, about how a history of redlining has affected where people can buy houses and segregation in that way, right? So it's sort of like, in social work is a lot of feelings and you get these feelings about things and you're passionate, but you can't always articulate quite what you're trying to get at. And I think that this degree is giving me that base knowledge and more of those skills to say, yes, I feel this way, and here are the reasons why, and here's the history and the data that backs up this sort of feeling that I'm having.
I would also assume that kind of that getting that data and those numbers and experience to relate to what you already know and feel also help you with a sense of confidence when you're going to be working with so many people and communities and different representations of populations, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, which actually moves us quite well into this next question. How do you plan to promote diversity in social justice while in your field?
Yeah, I mean, it's so important, and beyond important, it's absolutely critical as a social worker. It's our actual literal obligation to promote and work towards the fight in social justice. And I think fight is the appropriate word here because it's a strong effort and it requires a lot of work. One of the things I really like too about my program is we have a focus on what we call PODS, which stands for privilege, oppression, diversity, and social justice. So a lot of the historical things we're learning and also the theories and the strategies we're learning about those through these different lenses, right? And personally for me as a white woman in a field of predominantly white women, it's extremely important that I am able to read rooms and know when to step back. I think that's important for everyone when we're entering new communities to do different work. But I think taking the time to step back and always listen, but then also take that individual effort beyond coursework and beyond field work and career to individually educate yourself in anti-racist efforts, because that's important for everyone, but especially for social workers in the pursuit of social justice.
You touched on some really awesome things, and I'm sure anyone watching this, especially working in similar areas or want to be working in similar areas, will benefit from those comments for sure. Kind of moving into a little opposite direction, kind of focusing on yourself. How do you practice self-care, especially now going back to school, and also especially with this time that we're in? What are those self-care things that are important to you?
I think that's a great question, and that's something every social worker really needs to take time to consider for themselves, because self-care has this buzzword connotation right now about bubble baths and sort of like these very surface level things. For me, a really important part of my self-care is reflection throughout my work and even in my degree. You know, sometimes I'm in class and I'm learning and we're addressing really big issues in the world. This is the duty of social work, and it's natural to have emotional reactions to that and to feel a sense of overwhelm because there's a lot of work to do, right? So I think taking time to personally reflect has been very important to me. And then also moving sort of beyond self-care into community care and remembering that you don't have to do it all yourself, and it's okay, and you should lean on your support system and your circle when you need it. So I definitely lean on my friends and family. I also exercise a lot, and I play in sports teams, and just having time with those groups of folks and the different communities that I'm a part of to sort of step away from the work at times has been really helpful for me.
Like you said, there's a lot of battles and fronts to fight and a lot of work to do, and we have to take care of ourselves. And it's really good advice to give to social workers in the field and those coming into the field. But with all your experience in schooling and things around curriculum and things like that, what advice would you give to a potential future social worker student?
That's another good question. I think one of the things I've been thinking a lot about in my degree is, I know resilience is sort of another buzzword, but I guess retention of social workers. I'm very interested in how people do this work and make a lifelong career out of it, because the work in itself, whether you're macro or micro, no matter what you're doing, it's very taxing. It's intense emotional labor at times. Like we kind of mentioned earlier, you know, you're aware of all of these big problems in the world, and I can imagine that it's very difficult to keep doing this work. So I guess the advice I would give, there's a Banksy quote that I really like, and I'm not going to quote it perfectly, but it's about like learn how to rest and not how to quit, right? So you know, when we get burned out or we start to get to that point, there's this inclination to protect yourself and say, I just need to get out of here and I need to quit. And if that's the healthy option for you, of course you should. But if you want to keep up in the field, and I think that we have to learn how to take these moments to step back and how to pause, so that we can re-energize ourselves and keep going in the field, right? So it's hard, and I think that looks different for everyone. Kind of back to self-care, I think that definitely looks different for different people, but if you can learn how to do that for yourself, I think you can keep going.
Thank you for that. I think a lot of students and potential students that are looking forward to pursuing a social work degree would benefit from that. And I think it's very important and reflective of what's going on right now and just our time. And the times are going on, but also it's the work. And so you have to be able to take care of yourself with going through both. And finally, what are some goals for yourself post-graduation?
Oh gosh. I'm really hoping to get a job specifically in Detroit. Like I said, I'm not sure exactly what that will look like for me just yet, but my heart is here and it's in this area, so I'm hoping to continue my career here, but also to sort of stay connected to this community of social workers that I'm now meeting through this program and through NASW and through different efforts, because I think we have to rely on each other. The work is very hard, and it'd be really cool if I could go get a job in Detroit, but I also know that I need to build this social network, both for myself, for other social workers, and to help each other continue. So that wasn't a very specific answer, but yeah, I'm hoping to work in Detroit.
Hey, that sounds great. Well, we're excited to see where you go. We're happy to give you this award, and congratulations again. You're very well deserved, and I think your comments today very much so prove that. So thank you very much for joining me.
Thank you. Yeah.
And thank you to everyone watching. And until next time, we'll see you.
Thanks, Grant.